Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 7 p.m. I'd like to welcome you all to the Highland Park City Council in-person and virtual regular meeting.
Microphone.
Thank you for that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Highland Park in-person and virtual regular meeting scheduled for Monday, March 4th at 7 p.m. If you would be kind enough to take the roll for me, Madam Clerk.
Council Pro Tem Robinson.
Present.
Councilwoman Manica.
Here.
Councilwoman Martin.
Here.
Councilman Ashafi.
Present.
Council President Thomas.
Here, thank you very much. The next item, or the first item on the agenda after roll call, is the approval of the agenda. Members of council, you've had an opportunity to review the agenda and any potential walk-ons. At this point, I will turn the floor over to council to entertain a motion for how we should proceed on the agenda.
They got walk-ons first.
Ma'am?
If they have anything, I do have some changes too.
Okay. City attorney, if no one is speaking up at the moment, the city attorney would like to share with us some items related to the agenda that might need changing, if you would, Ms. Burton.
Yes, good evening, council. So you were tendered a couple of items. Under community development, item C, 8C, we're asking that that item be removed. Director Clyburn is asking that that item be removed. We need a little more information, as well as item E. So C and E removed.
Okay.
And then F, there was a supplemental document that was tendered to council. Let's see, from Laura. I believe everybody has a copy of it. If you don't, let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Would I require if we made any changes to accept the supplement or to add it?
You
Or
can
we
add the
just
supplement.
add it? Okay.
Council President,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a walk-on to go before the number 5, the table item.
Yes, ma'am. And that will be the resolution that you handed to me.
Yes. And to council.
So this will be moving potentially.
Yes.
So we have to ask the clerk, are we now moving the items down? Madam Clerk, can you give us some direction as to where?
So should we add that item? Will we be moving it down?
Should you add down?
Yes, ma'am. So
Where would it go?
Should the agenda be amended? Will the items be moving up, down?
Down.
They will be moving down, she said.
Ms. Square? She said it would be moving down. So if it's added, it will be after the
No,
table?
I need it to be first.
So she's asking for it to replace item 5 and to renumber after item 5.
Okay, so we can make item 5 the walk-on resolution, and then make the table item 5A.
Okay, 5A. 5A.
We have another walk-on resolution from CED related to resolution authorizing an emergency demolition contract for city-owned property located at 154 Rhode Island Street. Director Claiborne is requesting that that item be added as well. If you don't have a copy, let me know.
Added to community development.
Added to community development.
It will become the new item D if we remove C and E.
Well, we have it now too.
Well, it would have to go somewhere. I'm just
So
suggesting.
Madam Clerk, we usually let the clerk
Yeah,
determine
it
that.
would be It would be E.
It would be E. Would it be E if E is going to be removed, the resolution?
If C is
Those two
removed,
items are removed.
If C and E are removed, that would be C, and it would be,
It will become E.
okay, yes, okay, E. That would be special. And council, it is up to you to decide how we move through this agenda. For item 3, we're on the approval of the agenda right now. Chair, I turn the floor over to council.
Motion to approve with the added items.
And the added items, just for verification, will be moving the walk-on from the square to item 5.
Yeah.
And moving that item 5 to table GLEA item to 5A.
That's right.
And that will be the removal of item under community and economic development. That will be removing C and E and replacing that by adding the emergency demolition. which will come on as item E now.
F, right?
No, D would become C, F would become D,
Where we getting rid of C. D will become C,
and F would become,
D,
D, I'm
D.
sorry, D.
so it will be as item E. Thank you, Mr. Shafi.
Okay.
We also have the supplement on
Okay,
F.
F would become D though, right?
Yes,
Correct, now it's
All
D.
right.
The supplement.
So let me just write it up to make sure there.
Under 20
And D
environment,
would
the
become what?
supplement.
I'm sorry, Ms.
C.
Duncan. Can you say it again?
D, it will become item E.
D would become C now, and F would become G, and then the walk-on is E.
Okay, okay. All right, and we're getting rid of C.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna strike that out.
No, you were to see.
Yes,
and E.
ma'am.
We'll keep that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Right, right.
Okay, Chair offers a second to Mr. El Shafi's motion. Madam Clerk, unless you have any additional questions on the clarification,
She wants some clarity first.
Yep.
She needs-
Ema?
Yeah, F will become D.
Never added an E.
E will be the walk-on. So we have a motion on the floor for the approval of the agenda with the amendments. The following amendments would be adding a walk-on item from the city administrator as item 5 and moving the tabled item to 5A. It will be also the removal of the current items C and E, replacing the order to include items A, B, C, D, and E. E will be the walk-on item under community and economic development, and the rest of the agenda would stay the same. Any additional clarity needed? Motion on the floor from Mr. El Shafi, seconded by the chair. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on the approval of the agenda?
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, thank you very much. Motion carries. Moving to item 4, the approval of the workshop meeting minutes for February 20th, 2024. City Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve the workshop meeting minutes, February 20th, 2024.
A motion on the floor from Councilwoman Manica to approve the workshop meeting minutes from February 20th, 2024. We have a second. Second from Ms. Martin. You could call the roll on that item, please.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
No.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi,
No.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Next is the approval of the regular meeting minutes for February 20th, 2024. On this sheet, it says 27. We're gonna assume that's a typo.
Yes, it is. It should be the 24.
Yes, ma'am. So the floor is open. Chair would entertain a motion on the approval of these regular minutes for the February 20th meeting.
I move to approve the regular meeting minutes, February 20th, 2024.
I have a motion on the floor for the approval of the regular meeting minutes for February 2024, February 20th of 2024. Do we have a second? Chair offers a second. Motion on the floor is the approval of the regular meeting minutes for February 20th, 2024. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
No.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi,
No.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you very much. We move on to the section of our program for every meeting where we turn the floor over to Mayor McDonald to address City Council on issues relevant to our business. Mayor McDonald, are you online?
Yes, I am.
All right, ma'am, the floor is yours.
Good evening to all the citizens and city council. I just wanted to thank again everybody for their calls and concerns. I appreciate that. Also, if you check out on the up front. There is literature that contains information for seniors over 60. It's a small grant that you might qualify for. Also, there's the calendar, and I had the intentions of putting out the flyer for the state of the city. Unfortunately, it wouldn't copy correct, so we will get that out ASAP tomorrow morning so I can get it reconfigured. The state of the city, please write this down if you can. It's on March 21st, Thursday, March 21st, 6 p.m. at Revival Tabernacle on Woodward and Florence Street. And we will start promptly at 6. The doors open at 5:30. It will go from 6 to 7. So hope to see you there. Please spread the word. We will be putting out flyers. So let people know. Other than that, that's all I have today, Council President. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a pretty full agenda tonight. And this is the opportunity for people to come up and speak for 2 minutes on the agenda. I'm gonna be tight on that 2 minutes because I know at the end of the meeting, I extend that period out to 2 minutes plus. So if there are anyone in the audience who had something that they wanted to address related to tonight's agenda, please be specific, reference the agenda item before you speak, but the podium is yours should you like to speak. Going once. Okay, I don't see any movement, so I'm just going to move right on into the actual agenda. We're going to start with the walk-on item, which is the resolution waiving conflict of interest from Miller Canfield. Turn it over to Ms. Square, our city administrator.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, council. What a warm day today.
Yes.
My dog went out and laid in the grass and rolled all around, and he's shedding his winter coat, and he's got grass all on him now. This is a good resolution because after last week's or the last council meeting, there were some concerns about the GLEA situation. And a couple things happened after that meeting. One was the state sent a letter to the council and to the city, and it was in response to the city's request to file bankruptcy. And they denied it. They finally denied it and said, ain't gonna be no bankruptcy because we're gonna settle this deal and we're gonna pay. And so that was wonderful. The letter went on talking about the money for infrastructure and commitments and how it would be basically cheaper to fix the system than to go through all of that because bankruptcy wouldn't solve everything anyway. And it was wonderful to get that letter because that was the first time that we received a letter like that from them. And it was good that they responded to it. They even indicated that they had either paid GLEA the 25 million or were about to pay it. And you all know that we had a term sheet. And the big issue with the large document that we got that the city attorney wouldn't sign off on because of the short time that he had to review it, because remember, we got it one day and they wanted a special meeting, and then we kicked it off another 4 days. But the main problem with the document was the trust agreement. And so that you understand, we have a trust now from the 96 agreement, but it's a trust that was created out of a court order. It's the city's trust account, and Detroit Water was the beneficiary of the account. It's just like now, if you have a will and a trust for your assets, your heirs don't write it. You write it. And so that was the problem with this trust. So the parties met, and a decision was made that a third party would write the trust. So we would replace the trust that was in the agreement that was written by GLEA with a third-party trust that's a basic trust, much like the trust accounts we have now. And actually, that settles the whole deal. That was the only hangup, because we are totally in agreement with the state and everything that they have done to support Highland Park and the council and the citizens. And really, it doesn't look like it, but we're kind of all on the same team pulling in the same direction. It just looks a little flailing about a little bit, but we are all on the path now to getting this deal done. Now, we do go to court tomorrow to Judge Joseph. And you all know that Judge Joseph has not been the most favorable, but whatever happens tomorrow, we have until June to settle the case. This case may get settled on the courthouse steps, but this case is going to get settled. The state has sent a letter with the commitment of the money, and the commitment of the money is what Judge Joseph's case is all about. He just wants the $25 million. So I think that we're going to be fine. We're still fighting. And when I say fighting, I don't mean fighting in a way that, you know, it's a losing battle. I mean, we're still, Highland Park has to maintain its position, and its position is to protect the integrity of the city. And so we're doing that because we want to come out of this being able to execute the agreement. So getting the agreement is one thing, executing is another. So what I have here tonight is a resolution waiving the conflict of interest for Miller Canfield. Miller Canfield will be paid by the state, and they are the oldest law firm in Michigan. So you know they represent a little bit of everybody. And in this case specifically, they represent Comerica Bank. And the reason why, even though Comerica Bank may not be the final trustee, but because we do business with Comerica Bank and we also do business with Miller Canfield, they have been the city's bond counsel for a very long time. It's appropriate to come in and get the waiver of the conflict of interest. And I'm going to read the resolution. It's not very long. It says, whereas Miller Canfield Paddock and Stone PLC, Miller Canfield, has represented the city of Highland Park for over 20 years as its bond counsel and economic development counsel on various matters. And whereas the city has been engaged in long-term litigation with the Great Lakes Water Authority as successor in interest to the Detroit Water and Sewer Department with respect to provisions of water supply and sewage disposal services and the related payment for such services. And whereas the city of Highland, whereas the state of Michigan and the Michigan Finance Authority, together the state, has been assisting the city and GLEA to resolve the litigation in the best interest of each of the parties. And whereas the city and GLEA are attempting to resolve the litigation and to finalize the terms of a settlement agreement. And whereas one of the terms of settlements requires the city to provide for the intercept and distribution by a trustee of the revenues, system revenues derived from services provided by the city's water supply and sewage disposal system, the system to its customers. And whereas consistent with its desire to help resolve the litigation, the state is seeking to retain Miller Canfield to draft and negotiate the terms of a trust agreement and other possible documents, collectively the settlement documents between the city, a corporate trustee, and other potential parties. And whereas one of the banks which may serve as trustee is Comerica Bank, and whereas Miller Canfield routinely represents Comerica in unrelated matters, and whereas the rules of professional conduct require attorneys to inform a client of a potentially adverse representation and to secure the client's waiver of any actual or perceived conflict of interest, and whereas Miller Canfield is seeking the city's waiver of an actual or perceived conflict of interest with the state and Comerica with respect to its drafting and negotiation of the settlement documents. Whereas the city council desires to waive any such conflict of interest, now therefore be it resolved that 1, waiver of conflicts, the city hereby waives any conflict of interest Miller Canfield may have with representing the state in connection with the drafting and negotiation of the settlement documents. The city hereby waives any conflict of interest Miller Canfield may have with representing Comerica in various unrelated matters in connection with the drafting and negotiation of the settlement documents. And 2, authorization to execute conflict waiver. Each of the mayor, the city clerk, the deputy city clerk, and the city administrator are each individually authorized to execute and deliver the conflict waiver with letter to Miller Canfield attached hereto as Exhibit A. So this is basically a basic waiver. And with this, Miller Canfield will draft and negotiate the trust so that the trust agreement, which is 3 trust agreements that's in the large document that we all saw last week, that will be replaced with the new trust agreement. And this agreement is an agreement that will comply with the city's charter, because the city's charter requires that the trust be held by the treasurer. That's why we have a treasurer, and then approved and adopted by the council. And so the way it is now, it's been done by the third party. And so that's what we're doing. Once this is done, we're done. That's it. The rest of the deal we can live with. We have to, of course, execute it and try to comply with everything. There's the meters and the infrastructure and all of that. But this is really the step that's held things up, because we want to make sure that we're following the charter, because the penalties for not following the charter in Highland Park is fines and imprisonment. And we certainly can't give the city's money. We can't collect money and give it away to somebody and not follow the charter. So that's the holdup. And this will help get that back on track and get the trust agreement so that we can get the deal done. And that's it.
Council, motions?
Motion
Floor is
to
open.
approve.
Have a motion to approve resolution. There's second so I have a motion to approve the resolution waiving conflict of interest for Miller Canfield. That motion was made by Councilman Ashafi. It was seconded by Council Pro Tem Robinson. Are there additional questions? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll on item 5?
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item 5A. This is a tabled item, GLEA contract. City Council, what is your pleasure on this item?
Motion to bring back from the table.
I have a motion on the floor to bring this item back from the table from Councilman Ashafi. Does he have support?
I support.
I have a motion on the floor to bring this item back from the table from Councilman Ashafi, supported by Council Pro Tem Robinson. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
No.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
No, motion carries.
So I got a few questions.
So, Mr. Ashafi, the item has been brought back from the table. Are you calling for a motion on the
Yes,
item?
I'm calling for a motion to approve with questions.
So your motion is to approve this contract I just want to make
You heard me
sure. You're
correctly.
talking, this is the only contract that we have from Great Lakes Water Authority. Ms. Square just told us that we needed to make modifications to it. So your motion is to approve this pending the changes that she has suggested and the fact that we do not have a resolution from the legal department. They told us they would need additional time for this.
If you allow me to ask
Please.
my questions.
Just go right ahead. No, so
We'll
we
have a
have,
clear understanding as to where I'm going, sir.
okay, so it's off the table. We're making a motion to approve. We have a motion from Mr. Al Shafi to approve the GLEA contract, and do we have support for that?
Support.
Have support from Council Pro Tim Robinson. And that is, we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Al Shafi to approve the GLEA contract, supported by Pro Tim Robinson. Questions?
Yeah, so Ms. Square, the only thing that is wrong with this contract is the trust agreement. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay,
for the most part,
okay.
that we can't live with.
Right, okay, so the trust agreement, so my curiosity is, why can't we split the baby in half? Let's say that, just hear me out, let's say that we approve under the conditions that Miller and Canfield will rewrite and redraft and reinsert a new trust agreement into this contract. You know what I'm saying? So we approve based on Miller Canfield doing what they're supposed to do, based on the resolution that we have before us. As long as that is done, then there's no other problem with this contract, and we can get this burden and this monkey off the backs of the residents.
A conditional approval, council
Yes.
can do that.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve with conditional approval that Miller Canfield does what it's supposed to do for the trust agreement, and then we approve this contract and get this monkey off the back of the residents and let it move forward from council into the administration, which is where it needs to be. It's time for it to move out of council.
That's a new.
Support.
Well,
Okay, so new
let me just add this. It will come back to council though, because that document will have to have the new trust agreement put in it, and then all of the sections of the document that have to be, because adjusted for that.
Yeah, so as long as Miller Canfield does what they're supposed to do, I'm understanding that the state is backing this 100%.
Yes.
There's no reason why the rest of the contract can't be approved under the conditions that the trust agreement and every section where the trust agreement touches is fixed and repaired, so we can get this out of our hands onto the mayor's desk, and then they can come back with us and show to us that Miller Canfield has done what they're supposed to do. The trust agreement has been rewritten, problem solved, everything's done.
It will come back to council,
Okay,
yes.
Question though.
Yes, Ms.
Oh, go ahead, Ms.
Manica.
Manica.
Ms. Manica, please.
Two things. One, the first thing was, it was a motion on the table prior to this motion that he just made. So that's the first thing. And
Okay,
then
well, then-
wait, hold on.
Okay,
Then I had a question. I would like to know the exact motion.
okay.
I wanna,
okay,
I wanna
Okay,
approve.
okay,
I wanna
okay.
know
So first
exactly
of all,
what I'm being asked
Okay.
to approve. Hold on, Mr. Shaw. Let me finish. I wanna know exactly what I'm being asked to approve in a motion. And then, again, we can't address the second motion because we didn't address the first one. Thirdly, we have, if we're talking about the same thing we just brought from the table, we do not have a resolution, so we can't approve something we don't have.
council does have the right to approve either through vote or resolution. It doesn't have to be either or, okay? Council does have the authority, but to ease everyone's mind, I rescind my motion to approve with question, and I make another motion to approve with conditions that Miller Canfield and the resolution that we just approved for Miller Canfield, as long as Miller Canfield does this job and rewrites and renegotiates the trust agreement, and this is the only thing that we have a problem with, I do not see why this contract cannot move forward as long as Miller Canfield does what we have just asked him to do.
Okay.
If the state is backing us and they're making this play, then I say we jump on the opportunity to put this monkey to bed and get it off the backs of the residents of Highland Park.
Okay, so now that we reread all of that, or we said all of that, I still need the first motion.
The one that he's rescinding.
The one that he's rescinding. I need to know what that motion is.
That motion is, that motion I made was to approve with questions.
Approve what?
To approve the, I know you joking
I
with me,
don't
right?
have it right here. I don't have it right here.
Okay,
So I
okay,
don't
I'm
know
just
what
saying, I know you're joking with me, right?
Absolutely not. So
Okay,
does
then.
anyone have
Okay,
it?
okay, all right.
No, I think it was approved with conditions.
No,
No, not his first motion.
Approved with questions.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
All right.
I,
So
Sorry.
first,
I rescind the motion to approve the GLEA contract with questions, and I re-enter a new motion to approve with conditions that Miller Canfield fulfills the obligations just approved in the resolution for Miller Canfield to come up here and renegotiate the trust agreement.
okay.
So I approve with Miller Canfield as a condition that this is done. I want to approve this contract with the conditions that Miller Canfield does what they're supposed to do for the trust agreement and any parts in this contract that the trust agreement touches.
Okay, Chair will offer support with questions.
Okay, wait, though, we have to, we
I
have.
rescind
Huh?
my
Her
support
correct.
for the first motion. And I support the second.
So now we're supporting. I just want to be clear. We're supporting a resolution, or we're just reporting that you want Miller and Canfield. I'm sorry, see, there we go. I just need a simple, small motion without the other part. Your motion is what now?
My motion is the same as before. I want to approve the GLEA contract under conditions that the resolution for waiver of conflict of interest for Miller Canfield is followed through from the resolution we just approved before this contract. So as long as Miller Canfield does what they say they're going to do for the trust agreement, I feel we need to approve this contract and get it out of council and into the administration.
But it still has to come back to council.
The trust has to come back.
No
Okay,
contract.
we can approve the contract, and as long as the trust comes back to us, Miller Canfield still has to come back to us and show us that they've done what they've done. As long as that's done, the requirements are met, that the rest of this contract can be approved.
Well, you'll get a final document to approve.
Exactly.
You'll get a final
That's right.
document to approve, but you won't be back going through all the pieces and parts again.
Exactly my point. So as long as Miller Canfield does what it's supposed to do, our problems are solved. The state is back in this play. Your governor is ensuring that we get this support. We need to jump on this opportunity and not waste any more time. Let's get this monkey off the back of the residents. We are talking about $56 million paid for alleged water debt. We're talking about another $130 million in infrastructure money. We're talking about another $70 million in removal of lead lines and new meters into your home and your businesses. We're talking about another $30 million for the master meters. That comes to $286 million. Who the hell are we to say no to that kind of money? Who are we to say no to that? There are communities around here salivating over this contract. They're hoping that we blow it so they can ask the governor for it. Let's get it off our table, get it where it needs to go, approve the contract with the conditions of Miller Canfield, and let's be done with this. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Do we have a motion on the floor? Is it open for discussion? Okay, so
It's
it's
already
open for
been made and
questions.
supported,
It's
Council
already made
President.
for questions? Excellent. All right, so let's do this. Let us just do this. We have not heard back from our attorneys. They have, the question that if we're in such a hurry to do it and it's taken us 13 years, there is really no reason not to wait until you get the final document. We just got the document from Miller Canfield. Am I correct, Ms. Square? Would a few more, would another meeting make that much of a difference?
It's a conditional approval.
Yeah.
It's conditional.
If this doesn't get done, it's not approved.
Okay,
It's conditional. Can we call for the vote?
Yes. There's a motion and a support on the floor.
So out of, just out of.
I am not changing it, Miss
Ms.
Manager.
Manager,
Yeah.
I didn't ask you to change it. I'm stating what I'm thinking.
It's conditional.
So it's conditional. And if they don't approve it, or they don't do it, then we come back. But we haven't had any conversation with legal. So I'm trying to figure out, should we or should we not have a conversation with legal?
Hold on, you guys.
Okay, wait a minute.
So,
Did someone call a recess?
No, they just got to walk out on their own.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
so here, let's continue. So you understanding what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody else has a question to ask here, but we started out in a situation that we have no resolution.
What I'm trying to figure out is this meeting on hold or what's going on?
Right.
Well, I'm still talking to you, so
I
Crystal
understand the
has.
council president is left.
Right.
Okay.
The man who is officiating the meeting is gone.
Okay, so now you carry these on?
Yeah, exactly.
So I need to know, if that was the case, I guess this question may be to,
Just one second.
I used for the council or.
So I'm not gonna swing the hammer on anybody. I'm gonna let everybody make their own decision. Mr. Square made it clear to us, violation of the charter is crime with penalties and jail time. So I wanted to make sure that I'm not walking anybody in this room into the guillotine. That's really, it's up to people to decide how they want to proceed. But it would not be, it's incumbent upon me as a chair to make sure that I don't walk you into breaking the law.
Oh,
That's the question. That's the question I wanted to just ask when we went back there. Are the four of you and myself, are we legally protected from doing anything that would be harmful to us? That's the only question that I have for them. It's up to the members to decide how they want to vote on this.
Council President, it's a
ma'am.
conditional approval. If the trust doesn't get approved, it falls apart.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's no harm in it.
Was that the only part that was violating the charter?
That's the part that was the egregious part. Yes, that's what's holding up the deal. That's what's holding up the deal. It's the trust, because it was a big, thick part of it. So it's pages and pages, 48 pages, and it was 3 different trusts. And clearly we couldn't determine if any money would ever come back to the city. That was the problem. It doesn't follow the charter. It doesn't follow the ordinances. It doesn't follow the flow of funds at the city. Why have a city if you can give the vendor? You remember back in the day when the Defense Department gave the contractor all the money, and the toilet seats were $900. This is that kind of deal where you can't give the vendor all the money, waiting for them to return money to you. So that's the most egregious part. It's a conditional approval. Miller Canfield's going to renegotiate it. When that comes back, that will come back to council for approval. If that doesn't get approved, the deal falls apart.
Problem solved.
And then what we do?
We go back to the table, because this is not a deal that is just going to disappear, because we have to provide, we have to have water, and we have to send the sewage to be treated.
That's right.
So we need to get some traction here, because this is a deal that will never die. So we've got to take action. This conditional approval will give us something to move forward on. Let's give it a go.
As it relates to the resolution, as it relates to the resolution.
All I'm gonna say is this one thing. If the governor is seeing eye to eye with you on this, there must be something to it, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
If she's willing to back this play, then that lets us know that we're on the right track.
And that's why I thanked council and the residents when I first stood up here, because this was after the last meeting.
So-
After the last meeting, a deep dive went in, and okay, maybe there's some state law violations in that document. And so this is a way to correct that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All I'm saying. So
All right.
there is a motion on the floor that's been supported.
Okay, and I
Okay.
heard that motion.
So
Can we get to
let's let's deal with I haven't called for the vote. Let's deal with the fact that we don't have a resolution in front of us right now. So the resolution language will reflect what?
Exactly what I said. It's a conditional approval, Council President. It does not need to be drawn out. All you two guys are doing is stalling here. Let's get to the vote.
No stalling. No, it's called
Then
being
let's get to the
thorough.
vote.
It's called being thorough.
You only thorough. You only thorough when I have something to say. You're only thorough when Miss Robinson has something to say. You're only thorough when Miss Martin got something to say. But when you and Miss Manning got something to
Okay,
say.
Madam
you
Clerk, would you
jump
please
right to
call
it.
for the vote?
So let's get to the vote.
Council Pro Tem Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Patted games.
Yes,
Councilwoman Martin,
Conditional approval.
that's what I was trying to get pointed to make sure everybody understood.
Councilwoman Ma-
No, no, Councilman
We're
Rob,
not.
you're voting on the tabled item, the GLEA document. You voted on that already. On that, the conditional approval on that. And it's a condition, you're voting on the big document and it's condition on the small document getting executed. Yes, it's got to get carried out. Miller Canfield's got to rewrite the trust. Yes, yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes,
Council President Thomas.
Yes to conditional approval.
there we go.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Not that complicated.
Ms. Manica, you had something you wanted to add before we moved on to
I do
item.
have something I want to add.
Just make.
I would like, as we continue in this process, that we be adults. And if I have a question, or you have a question, or Ms. Martin has a question, that is answered. All the extra, getting the crowd excited, or the residents excited, because if we miss an I, it's not gonna be just you, Mr. Ashafi, or you, Ms. Robinson, or you, Ms. Martin, or myself, Mr. Thomas. It's going to be all of us. And so to fast talk doesn't do anybody any good. Okay? If you're gonna fast talk and fast talk everything, or don't talk at all.
Sweet Jesus.
Just
God
leave
in
it.
heaven. Sweet Jesus.
So again, I think that we need to stay focused and stop acting as if we're not adults in the room. Thank you.
In the water.
Moving on to item 6 under the administration, a resolution to apply for the fiscal year 2025 congressionally directed spending through Senator Stabenow's office. City Council, what's your pleasure for item 6?
Move to approve the resolution to apply for fiscal year 2025 congressionally directed spending through Senator Stabenow's office.
So we have a motion for the approval of item
Support
7 of
with
the
questions.
administration from Councilwoman Manica, supported by Councilman Al-Shafi with questions.
Council President, what is this money for? Can somebody tell me what this is for? Is it for our fire department, for the police department? What is it for?
You have a copy of the document in front of you?
Yes, I do, but it's not quite clear as to what it's for.
It's the
So I asked
third
the question.
paragraph.
If somebody could tell me, I greatly appreciate it.
I'll let you read it, sir.
Oh, nice, lovely. Okay. Okay, well, until I read it, we'll sit here and wait a minute.
In the third
Do you have
paragraph, it says, whereas for past appropriations, Senator Stabenow has worked with us in submitting 2 successful applications.
Police vehicles,
Equipment.
okay, all right, training, et cetera, I'm done, approved. I'm done, as long as it's going to the police, I'm fine with it.
Additional questions for item 6? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll on item 6, please?
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi,
Absolutely.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item 7 under the city clerk. This is a request for approval of the parade permit application submitted by Parker Pride Foundation to be held on May 18th, 2024, starting at 12 noon. City Council, what's your pleasure?
Council President,
Is this a motion, sir?
Yes, yes. I would like to make a motion to abstain from voting on this. I have personal reasons from last year, so if the rest of council members would like to vote on it, I would like to make a motion to abstain from voting on it.
I make a motion to approve the parade permit.
So we have two motions on the floor.
Yeah.
We have two motions on the floor.
Yeah, yeah. I need y'all to give me permission to abstain from voting on it.
Abstention.
Okay. I support
Okay.
Councilman Kashi's abstention.
So we have a motion on the floor for the abstention of Mr. Ashafi.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll on this supplemental item?
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
No.
Council President Thomas.
No.
So that means I don't get to abstain, huh?
No.
Correct.
Okay. All right, well,
So item 7, under City Clerk, we have a request approval for the parade permit application submitted by Parker Pride Foundation to be held on May 18th, 2024, starting at 12 noon. City Council, what's your pleasure on item 7?
I move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor from Council Pro Tem Robinson to approve the permit for the parade. Do we have support?
support requested.
We have support from Councilwoman Manica. You have questions, Mr. Ashafi?
Yeah, so okay, so since I wasn't allowed to abstain from voting on this matter, I might as well address it. So if you recall, last year, the city went on their own without approval from council. They had their parade. We were called every name under the sun, the Grinch, baby killer, et cetera, et cetera. But here we are again with an approval for something in which if we give it or don't give it, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. So why is it even here before council? If you're not going to respect the rule of the law, I mean, why bring it back to us? Just take it to the mayor and let her approve it and call it a day. That's what she did last year.
To your point, sir, the
Okay,
governor
at
of the
least
state of
that way.
Michigan provided a letter approving that parade.
Okay, at least that way, we won't be called any names for not attending. Okay, as we were last year.
So to my understanding, last year, that parade was approved by letter of the governor of the state. It superseded our authority.
I didn't see that letter then, and I noticed that the state didn't attend.
Okay, so
Why don't we move?
we have a
forward?
motion on the floor for the approval of the permit, so made by Council Pro Tem Robinson. It was supported by Councilwoman Manica. You have questions? Go ahead, please, ma'am.
Call me every name under the sun, but one in approval. Interesting.
Spike.
Thank you. Mr. Spike, I thought I seen it. Hey, I just had one question or one suggestion. Even though you have a certain number on here of bands or floats or how do we account for if somebody else wants to jump in?
Well, we had to put down a number.
Okay.
People are still calling to be in this parade. Myers just called. They want to do something for the parade, and it's going to be really nice. It's getting better and better each
Yeah, I
year.
think it's
And out of a courtesy, we do apologize for last year. We really wanted to get that parade going. We was going on at least the last administration, and that was Mayor Yap.
Okay.
He was like, so that's how we were going. No disrespect to the council, excuse us for last year. That's why we're here this year, to apologize and to ask for your approval. No disrespect, all the joke, the Grinch and all that stuff, it was childish. But now it's a little bit more serious than that. This is the fifth event we've given, light shows, centennials, all successful events, free for the city of Highland Park. Nobody else is doing anything for the city of Highland Park like this. People are sponsoring, they're adding to it, and the citizens are getting more involved. I want to thank you for showing up to our last event the Christmas festival.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, and then they let you jump in because we can't stop it, especially when Ms. Manica called. But I'm being told by the clerk right now, we have a vote on the floor, so we're gonna take the vote. I do thank you for your
Thank you.
additional information, sir, and we appreciate you.
Accept my
So,
apology.
do we have any questions, Ms. Martin, Madam Pro Tem? Okay, if you would be so kind as to call the vote on item 7 under the city clerk.
Council Pro Tim Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi.
You did apologize, so yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you very much. We're moving on to item 8 under community development. We're starting with the resolution to sell the vacant residential adjacent lot at 309 Elmhurst to LaFrancis Allen, the adjacent property owner at 313 Elmhurst. City Council, what is your pleasure?
Is the resident here?
Hold on a second. Let's see if she's online.
This is for half lot.
Is it a half lot?
That's what the paperwork say.
Okay.
Mr. Lackey, could you release screen share, please?
Hello?
There she is. Yeah, she's up.
Ms. Allen,
Yes, hi, City Council.
For you.
your item is up for discussion. Council, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Did we move to?
I'm sorry. We need to get a motion on the floor for the approval. Do we have that motion?
I make a motion to approve with questions.
We have a motion on the floor
Second.
from Council Pro Tem Robinson, second by Councilman Ashafi, and those questions are?
How do you split the taxes and the water when you do a half lot sale like that?
Mr. Garrett, Mr. Clyburn, can you answer that question?
Yeah, it is a half lot. So who's purchasing the other half? Oh, okay.
She
So
own
that's
the
the
other half?
half a while ago, huh?
What was your question?
Okay.
How do you split the cost of taxes and the water bill?
She owns the other half, so she'll take over the full, but, did you know, I wasn't here when they split it the first time,
I wasn't either.
right? Do you know, Mr. Garrett?
Can you, Mr. Lackey, can you release screen share so I can pull this partial up?
The question is how, the split, how do you?
Well, if she already
share
owned the first
cost?
half, then.
Okay, yeah.
Just ask. She got the whole bill now.
Yeah.
But if for future reference,
Yeah.
if somebody
That's what
wants to
future
split, how do you split that bill?
And I think y'all kind of touched on that at workshop, didn't y'all?
Mhm.
Not, no,
I was watching.
touch, but not answer.
Right, touch, but not answer. I was watching.
This is the lot in question.
They would have to survey it and all of that.
Right.
How do you split the
client
cost
would
of
have
the
to-
maintenance, like the water and the taxes? How do you split that? If I wanted this half and another person wanted the other half, how do we split that?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I already own one half. I'm buying the other half of
Yes, ma'am, we
309.
understand. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
because I already have a water bill for the half that I own already, the other half of 309 that I own.
So it's got to be.
And you got,
So does that 309 have numbers to
Yeah, it's two separate,
Mr. Garrett.
parcel ID numbers.
Parcels.
It's two separate numbers.
they are two separate partial ID numbers. So one of these, yeah, this is the one that she already owns on screen now in red. This is the one that's in question, owned by the city of Highland Park. It'll show you it's owned by the treasurer of the city of Highland Park. This is her property that she owns. This is her property that she owns. It's a matter of assessment. It's a matter of assessment. It's not hard.
You know what may be helpful is if we can research that question and then at a future workshop, like the next one, y'all can give us a little bit more detail into it. Maybe that'll be helpful.
Yeah, this is very common. This split parcel that you see on the screen, it's extremely common. It happens for a number of different reasons, If the property was vacant for a period of time, or if somebody put a driveway in, if you can see from the picture, you see those driveways.
That's not the real question. The real question is how you split a parcel.
So if you do a split and you
Yes.
and create a new tax ID, you have a new bill.
Okay,
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 okay.
so the bills are run with the owner of the land. So if we split the land, then there's a bill for landowner A and a bill for either new landowner B or the same. But the tax ID is gonna trigger us creating a new account at the water department for that split.
okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you had me, everybody, I mean, I'm like, she was talking, you were talking, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Okay. We good?
I guess.
Ms. Martin, to answer your question on the screen right now, I put up a legal description. This is on Land Grid. I told you about regrid. You can go there and get a legal description of any piece of property. It'll show you the plat map information, and you can pull this up and have access at any time. So it tells you what the lot is, the name of the neighborhood, Tuxedo Manor, the subdivision. It gives you all of the basic plat information, so you can access that whenever you want to. Yep. No, you'd have to go on the historical records to uncover why they actually did that. And then the county assessor could probably tell you that, but this is a great free tool, so I would encourage you to go look at it. And anytime we pull up property, this is the tool that I'm looking at. So we have a motion on the floor to approve the sale to Ms. Allen, made by Council Pro Tem Robinson, second by Councilman Ashafi. Would you please call the roll on that item, ma'am? This is for item 8A. For item 8A, if you please.
Council Pro Tem Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi.
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to item 8B, this is a resolution to sell the vacant residential adjacent lot at 217 East Buena Vista to Roger Greenwood, the adjacent property owner at 215 East Buena Vista.
I make a motion to approve sale.
We have a motion to approve item
Second.
8B from Council Pro Tem Robinson, second by Councilman Ashafi. Do we have any questions, or can we just go through? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item 8B?
Council Pro Tem Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi.
Absolutely.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Now, moving down to our adjusted agenda, we are at the resolution to sell the vacant residential lot, adjacent lot at 294 Tuxedo to Rosalind Powell Cole and Christopher Cooper, the owners of 298 Tuxedo, the adjacent property owners of 298 Tuxedo.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. I got mine mixed up somehow.
So we got rid of C, we're on what would have been D is now C.
Right, for Tuxedo, right?
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. So much.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the sale of the adjacent lot, seconded by Councilman Ashafi. Do we have questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item 8C, resolution to sell the vacant adjacent lot at 294 Tuxedo.
Council Pro Tem Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi.
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. We are at item now D, that's the resolution for final site plan approval for 20 Bartlett.
No, we have, no, he was removed.
We got rid of the E is the walk on. E is the walk on. That is the walk on. That is item E. We still have D. We have to deal
Yeah, D,
with 20 Bartlett, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got rid of the Elmhurst. Yes. Okay, yeah, okay, all right, cool, all right. I'll put that off to the side then. I know y'all did it.
298 Tuxedo. McLean has been.
So we're doing make clean, right, Council President?
No, sir, we pulled McLean off. That was the item that came off. That was E, that was replaced. Now we're on item D, which is the resolution for the final site plan approval for 20 Bartlett.
I got you, okay. Mr. Curtis is there.
I'm still waiting for a motion on item D. We have no activity yet. This is the resolution for the final site plan approval of 20 Bartlett. We were also provided a supplemental document from Laura.
Want to make a motion?
Ask the clarification, Councilman, right there, and they're here too.
I want to make a resolution to approve resolution for final site plan approval for 20 Barton Street in accordance with zoning section 1214, the city of Highland Park zoning ordinance adopted July 18th, 20.
One more time, ma'am?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to make a motion to approve the resolution for final site plan approval for 20. Hello?
Yes, acting up.
Okay,
We got you.
okay, so you're making a motion for the approval of the resolution for the final site. Thank you very much, ma'am. I just wanted, we have a second,
I want a second, but I have a
second with questions?
thing or clarification.
Mhm.
Isn't it 20 and 30? Perfect. Don't we have to put that in there? I think it's 20 and 30. 20 and 30 or 32.
Mr. Pierce,
Something like-
no.
It's 20 all the way to 32.
Mr. Curtis, how are you?
Good, how are you? Thank you, Council, Honorable Council. Yes, it's 20, 30, and 32. Actually has 3 addresses.
So this is for all three, right?
Correct.
That's what I thought. So can we amend that? Smart. And what?
Well, wait, will we have different parcel numbers?
Well, it's all. I guess we would, that's the first one, but it's all here. Where you go? Hold on a second. I heard you. It does say up here. It does say. It's just it wasn't in the resolution.
Oh, okay, request the amendment.
Okay,
So I don't know what.
No, we see what you talking about.
yeah, they're listed, I mean,
Hello?
No, we see, you're hiding out in the back somewhere. Yeah. So like, y'all-
Amendment, and say we'll add the. parcel.
Yes.
so that is approval pending the correction and adding both parcels into this.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure that that notation is there so that everything is included.
That was
Council, you,
her original motion, though.
so Miss Martin, that original motion, you'd have to restate that motion pending including those parcels. Your motion is correct. We just want to make sure that we have the appropriate language to include all parcels in question.
Which parcels are you talking about?
So you're gonna include 20,
Okay.
30, and 32.
That's right.
Yeah, it's listed, but it's just not in the actual document, I mean, our actual wording.
It's just on the header of the resolution.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an add-on?
Yes.
Yes.
So you want,
So they would just pending correction.
Motion.
so I want to, you said pend my emotion?
No.
Amend.
I want to amend
There you go.
my motion and add in resolution for final site plan approval for 20, 30, and 32 Bartlett Street in accordance with section 1214 of the City of Highland Park zoning ordinance adopted July 18th, 2011.
Excellent, thank you very much. So we have, huh?
You're still in your support.
Yeah, I still give my support.
Yeah, support is still there. Okay, so we had this motion on the floor for under community development item D, the resolution for final site plan for the approval of the 20 Bartlett et al. Additional properties. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on item 8D?
Council Pro Tim Robinson,
No.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Martin?
Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi,
No, I'm gonna stay
Council
at no.
President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries 3-2. Thank you very much.
3-2, it's not bad.
Okay, so moving on to, we have an emergency walk-on here from CED Director Clyburn. Mr. Clyburn, if you would be so kind as to enlighten, we have an emergency situation, so if you would be so kind as to bring the citizens up to speed on what we're suggesting here.
Okay, thank you. The city owns a property located at 154 Rhode Island, and it fell onto the neighbor's property. So we're asking for an emergency demo. The pictures are included.
Which one is it?
114.
No,
I just want to, no one knows what it is. It was a walk on.
Okay.
Let's go with that table around.
Yeah, but if you look, it's still pieces of the house on it.
I'm trying to find the resolution here. Yeah, please go right ahead.
The house on the right hand.
I don't see it.
It's an add-on.
It's over here. Duh.
Oh, man.
Okay. Walk on here. Rhode Island fell.
Yep.
Take a motion to approve, because I remember how long it took to get the house off of mine.
Yeah.
So we have a motion on the floor to approve. Second. So motion made by Councilman Ashafi, second by Councilwoman Manica.
What y'all approve.
Okay, so would you please call the roll on item E under community development? This is the walk on. It's a resolution authorizing an emergency demolition contract for the city-owned property. If you will call the roll on that item 8E.
Council Pro Tim Robinson,
No.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi.
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Clyburn. We're moving on to item 9 of the Department of Energy, Public Works. It's a resolution to issue a request for a quote for sinkhole catch basin repairs for item 9. City Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve a resolution to issue an RFQ for sinkhole catch basin repairs.
Second with questions.
I have a motion on the floor to approve the resolution issuing an RFQ for sinkhole catch basin repairs made by Councilwoman Manica, second by Councilman Ashafi. Mr. Ashafi, what are your questions?
Is Mr. Reese here for this? I know this falls under DPW. I'm just trying to get a scale as to how bad it is. You know, Mr. Reese. I'm just trying to get a scale as to how bad it is.
I'm sorry.
The sinkhole, how bad it is.
Which one? There's a gang of sinkholes.
So this is for more than one sinkhole?
Yes.
Okay.
22, 32. I believe these are sinkholes that they have to have some concrete work, done to them also. So this isn't just like a regular like top sinkhole.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Reese.
Okay, cool. We have additional questions before we can ask for a vote. Ms. Robinson, please.
While driving down Oakland, what's going to become of those mountains, many mountains that you hit your car up against on the sinkholes and the manhole covers, if we're approving this? Mr. Dan Garrett. Mr. Garrett.
Which part of Oakland are you talking about? South of the Davidson or north of the Davidson?
You haven't even started on that part. I'm talking about from Tennessee to Davidson.
As soon as the frost laws come up, it's gonna get paid. So, that had to go on pause because of the winter and it's, been wreaking havoc. But we keep having weather like this, they'll let the frost laws go off, mean the heavy equipment can get on the road and then we can finish that off.
Right,
so let's call it like sometime early May.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Additional questions?
Yeah, I got one.
Not for me though, right?
Yeah, it actually is, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so I know this is kind of off topic, but on Hamilton and Pilgrim,
Okay.
okay, You know where our place of worship is?
Okay.
Okay, it's right there on the corner
Okay.
of Midland. There's a bus stop that has been painted there with no bus stop. Okay, I'm curious as to when we can get that removed. The only bus stops is on Pickens and Puritan. There's no bus stop in between.
Okay.
Okay, but for some reason, they run a bus stop right in front of our place of worship where nobody gets off the bus at, you know? And that parking is crucial on Fridays, Mondays, and Wednesdays when we have our program nights or somewhere in the park.
Okay.
So, Mr. Garrett, Mr. Shafi, that's a very important question. I want y'all to definitely have a chance to address it, but we actually are ready. We're ready to get that vote off. We can get item 9 done, so we can go ahead and call the roll. If you would call the roll. You call the roll on item 9, please.
Council Pro Tim Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi.
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you very much. Now we're under item 10, Department of Public Works, resolution to solicit quotes to cut the grass for the 1,470 city-owned properties. City Council, what is your pleasure on resolution 10A?
I move to approve a resolution to solicit quotes to cut grass on city-owned properties.
Are these the properties that DPW is not cutting?
Can't cut, not cut, can't cut. They need an army or football team.
Okay, so it's too high.
It's almost 1,500 properties.
Well, we just need help.
We would need 3 high school football teams on a regular basis for this.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it.
So we have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Manica, supported by the chair.
I have a question.
Now that it's out on the floor, we got more questions coming. Please jump right in, Madam Pro Tem.
What is this bid for? How much?
Don't. We just asking for quotes.
So what are the quotes? Do we have a price on them?
Yeah, you have to bid. You tell them we got 1,400 lots and they tell us this is what they'll pay us.
So we doing $1, $2?
No, they telling us how much they're gonna charge. Right.
And so how much are we willing to pay?
We don't know until we get the quote.
Yeah, like that part.
I think that's an Eleanor question.
Okay, so right now the issue is we're gonna put out quotes. We're gonna put out a quote that says, hey, we have 1,470 lots, city-owned properties. Who would like to bid on them? And that's kind of where we are right now. So, yep, yes, ma'am. All right. Yep, just to put the quotes out. Then they'll let us know. Then we'll decide. And we can't, the contract comes to us.
Right.
It comes us. So whatever it is, we have to approve it.
And we're voting on, can we accept?
Yep, can we take some applications? Yeah. Okey doke. So are we ready for that? Any additional questions? Madam Clerk, would you call a roll on item 10A?
Council Pro Tim Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi.
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item 10B. Resolution to approve insurance of RSQs, assurance for RFQs for on-call plumbing and on-call electrical services. City Council, what is your pleasure on item 10B? Issuance, I'm sorry. Issuance. These bifocals, they sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve from Councilman Shafi. Do we have support?
Support.
Support from Councilwoman Manica. Is that support with questions or just support?
I will ask a question.
Go right ahead.
This plumbing and electrical service is for the issues that we've been having. Citywide, yes.
Okay,
That's it.
okay. Would you call
Just said state.
yeah, so would you call the roll for item 10B, resolution to approve issuance of RFQs for on-call plumbing and electrical services?
Council Pro Tim Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi.
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Finally, on the agenda is in the Department of Public Works, resolution to approve issuance of RSQs for street sweeping. City Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve resolution to approve issuance of RFQs for street sweeping.
Chair offers a second. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Council Pro Tim Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. That concludes our agenda for tonight. The last thing that we have here, two things actually, is citizens' participation. I'm gonna be tight with this watch tonight. And then after that, we have council affairs. If there is anyone that would like to address the community, the podium is there, please be at home.
Oh, Ms. Fry, the street sweeping, I thought it was contracted out. Is it contracted out? So why would we have insurance?
It's
They
issuance.
have insurance. Oh, insurance.
Issuance.
Oh, insurance. Oh, okay. I thought I was saying insurance. Okay. This is to Mr. Gary. I read that letter in the water thing. And I'm curious to how did you decide to go up on the water rates for us, which it to me don't look like water rates. It look like your business rates to me. And as a business owner, you have to deal with your business yourself. We're not to pay for your business. And another question is, are you contracted into Highland Park or are you Highland Park Water Department? I want to know that. I'm just curious. Is he Highland Park Water Department or is he a contractor for Highland Park?
So I'll have Mr. Garrett get with you offline. Now, if hopefully they make note of that question and he can answer that for you offline.
He can answer it, can he?
Within the next minute, I want to make sure we keep that time.
Okay. Y'all have a good night. Good meeting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'll talk to you after, but.
Yeah,
Just that thing, say.
that was quick. He super fast. Hold on a second. Let me reset this clock, brother. Just give me a second. And go right ahead.
Yes, I would like to know, how do I obtain a voters list of the last election in Highland Park as far as the mayor and the city council?
Can you tell me your name, please?
It's Fidel.
Pardon me?
It's Fidel.
Can you spell it?
FUD.
Did you
AI.
call the city clerk's office and put in a request?
No, ma'am, just asking,
That's
so
what you have to do.
I gotta call and put in a request.
Correct.
Is there a fee?
There is.
Okay,
You have
thank
a
you.
pen and paper. I'll give you the number and you can call tomorrow and get the information that you need.
That's public record, right, city clerk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And last but not least, please, city council, when you're giving out these contracts, please do your best due diligence to find Black contractors and Black owned business. That's very important. We need to stop poverty. One way of stopping poverty is our tax dollars. Give it to our own. Even if you can't find it in the city of Detroit, city of Highland Park, look elsewhere. Many of you guys been to college, use your business, people, use your influence. Even if you got to go to another state, it's very important that we hire Black contractors with our tax dollars. Please look into party stores, gas stations, etc. These citizens need to have the right to say, I want to give my money that comes out of tax dollars that's going to come out of there. I need to have a choice. Do I give it to 9 Highland Parkers, 9 Black people? You understand? It's very important because I'm trying to get these Black contractors, these Black businessmen to buy up some of these properties where they can prosper and hopefully they can put our kids and grandkids to school and stop poverty. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, my name is William Zook. You can call me Billy. And I want to talk about recycling. Highland Park doesn't have any recycling. We have some history of recycling. Back in the 1950s, I remember when I was a little kid in Highland Park, and we had two separate containers. Everyone had 2 separate containers for their refuse. One was for garbage, which was mostly wet stuff, food stuff, and that would go to a landfill. And the other, I didn't know this at the time, was what they called trash or rubbish, and that was dry stuff, and that went to the city yard, they had over on DeQuinder, and they had a separation where they separated all that trash, and it went to recycling. And they made enough money off of that. Well, I was told this when I went to work for the city in the 70s, and the old timers told me about it, that they made enough money off of this to pay for all of their refuse collection and for the sewage. And they called that operation over the city yard, called it the maggot line. Because evidently there were enough people who didn't separate their refuse and put their garbage in the trash. So they're getting, flies and maggots and rats and roaches and all that in there. And so they stopped doing that. And then in the 1970s, I went to work for the city of Highland Park. We had a mayor then who was Robert Blackwell, called him Mayor Bob. And he was promoting what he called ecologize. He had signs all over the city, ecologize, he had an ecology flag. And so I came to the city council meeting and I asked the city council about letting me use a city truck on the weekends to collect glass and take it.
So Billy, I'm gonna have to interrupt you here at 2 minutes. I would like for you to come back and continue to have this conversation. We keep it to 2 minutes. But I think that what you're saying is relevant as far as we only got one earth. So if you would be willing to come back and join us at another meeting.
Yeah.
To talk more about
I'd like to maybe even talk to you personally about it. Yeah.
Okay, and then I would suggest you check with GFL. They have a website. There might be a way to introduce the rest of us to recycling, modern, whatever they call modern recycling now. So I would welcome you to come back too. We keep it to 2 minutes to keep it even across the board.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And please come back to talk more about that. Good evening, ma'am.
Good afternoon, council. My name is Tammy Stafford, representative of the Water Advocates. There's going to be a meeting March 22nd at Faith Tabernacle Church from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And it's regarding communication, conversation with different representatives that's going to be answering questions about the water. So what I wanted to ask Kathy Square, if you would be nice enough to attend this meeting, because you have a way with explaining things.
We have a mayor and a council. I'm not elected. That's why the mayor and the council are area representatives.
Okay. And the last thing I would like to say is thank you to all city council members tonight who voted. I just love to see you all voting for the right purposes and the right things regarding every citizen that's in Highland Park. Thank you and have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Right, Brother Rashid. Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, council. I just have a simple question. I'm glad that we're moving forward on the water. We're getting grips on that, it seems like. But let's address the elephant in the room. And how are we gonna go forward with these businesses, these nonprofits who aren't paying water bills? We need to address that also. I mean, because it's not fair, so hope you guys get on that.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Ask for some ordinance revisions and we have them. We just, it's hard to do like everything all at once. And so we do have some ordinance revisions and things like, if we gotta sue you, you're gonna pay the legal fees and stuff like that. And there's, back in the day, the city used to put it on the tax, automatically went on the tax. So council wouldn't have to, get in the political hot table with rate payers, property owners. And So that's another option. And special assessments can also become a tax bill. And so we've got some recommendations that will be going to council for them to act on here soon.
I'm just glad it's being addressed. Thank
you. We're on it.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Renee Ford. I live on Buena Vista. I have a couple of questions. I'm not sure who addressed this to. We're selling these properties to other homeowners. My question is, you sold a property to someone that lives next door to my mom, and the trees are overhanging into her yard, and they're obstructing our cable and our electric, our wires. So code enforcement came out, but what do we do about these homeowners that are buying these homes and they're not taking care of their property? Because DTE is telling me I have to have tree service to cut the trees so they don't interfere with the wire. So who do I talk to? Because my mom can't afford to get a tree service out. I've talked to DBW and they suggested some people, but the price. So I know code enforcement said they were ticketing the homeowners, but they've been there 3 years and nothing has been done. So how long do we ticket these people? You steady selling these condemned properties to these people, which are not of us, and I'm paying something so my mother can keep her cable and her electricity. So what is my next step?
Let me, you probably want to contact the mayor's office and she need to send somebody out to.
DPW's already looked at it. And because it's a private property.
I'm here.
That's only a question that I think that the mayor could ask. I don't think we had a wherewithal to answer that question. Ms. Ford had a question about her family being put in jeopardy due to someone else's negligence. Is that an accurate assessment?
Yes.
Okay.
And they've already been ticketed several times. So at what point do you do something about this person? But they're steady buying property on my block.
Give us that.
Miss Ford?
Yes.
You can call me tomorrow.
I will do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Additional citizens? I don't see any. We have police chief. Do we have anybody online? I don't see anybody online.
Okay.
Council President, I would like to say something too.
What are we gonna do? You gonna go?
She can go.
Go right ahead, man.
I'll wait till after the chief.
Okay.
It's about me, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all listen up.
Okay. Well, actually, you're incorrect. It's not. It partially is, but it's not. What it's about is I want to make sure that the police department does not become a political tool within this city. And there was a recent article published in the Metro Times regarding some allegations against the police department. And I want to make sure that I clear some of these things up. And one of the allegations is that the mayor of this city ordered the city's police chief to arrest an individual based on fabricated allegations. It further states that there was a claim that there was a fabricated arrest warrant drafted and that it may have been drafted by me. So I want to explain how our judicial system works to everyone so we don't further erode public trust within the police department. The police department, nor myself, has the ability to issue an arrest warrant for any individual within this city. That is a function of the district court judge or a circuit judge, depending upon the charges. So to say that someone could fabricate a warrant is nearly impossible unless there was an affidavit of where someone lied and created a warrant situation. But again, all of that would be public record. It is even further from the possibilities for someone to draft a warrant from many years ago, from say, for instance, 2011 or 2016. That would be nearly impossible for someone within the police department to do that without the judge, the district judge, co-signing that, which is not a possibility. I say all that to say there's a lot of drama going on within the city, okay? And I don't know if some people think that I'm the wrong guy for this job or whether or not they think I'm the right guy for this job. But I can tell you, there is no one in this city that owns me. There is no one who can give me an unlawful order. I accepted this interim position because it's an honor to work, to be here for the citizens. I started my career here in 2007. I've met a lot of great people here, and I love this. To me, this is an honor. And I think I've made some solid friendships here over the years. I'm making every effort possible to change the image of our police department. Over the years, we've gotten a bad rap, and I don't think that it's all justified. Now, don't get me wrong. Has there been mistakes made along the line? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that we should all suffer for that. So it's important that for me to let you guys know if you have questions about the police department, or if you hear rumors or anything that you want to address with the police department, we are going to be completely transparent with you, even if that means we're wrong. So feel free to contact my office. Feel free to contact, the mayor's office. If you don't want to contact my office, we have no reason to not be transparent with the public. Okay. All right.
Chief, what's the date of that article?
The date of this article is March 4th, 2024. Okay. So, again, I'm not trying to say this to create negative atmosphere in here or further cause any problems, because I think today was probably one of our better meetings that we've had. So I almost feel bad coming up here talking about this. But I think it's important that everyone understands that the police department is not for sale. I am not controlled by anybody. And if it got to a point where I was ever given an unlawful order, I would immediately resign from this department. Okay. And I'm not going to do that to anyone here. So I just want to be clear. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Madam Mayor, if you still wanted to take the floor.
Thank you. I'm not going to address the article because the article is nonsense. But what I am going to address is I have chosen the chief that I feel is great enough to do the job interim until at what time I choose someone else. And at every turn, someone has tried to undermine, continuous to put out false accusations, which these people have to go out into the public and deal with the public, which could put their lives at danger. And so I plan on moving forward with hiring a lawyer and stopping some of this stuff. This is unbelievable, but again, I don't want, the city is going to keep moving forward regardless. As long as I'm in office, we're going to keep moving forward. All of these monkey wrenches, railroad tracks, whatever it is that everybody trying to throw in front of us to stop us from growing this city, we're going to keep moving forward. And that's all I wanted to say. All of the other stuff is nonsense. It's disruptive. It's destructive. And again, like the chief said, I don't plan on ever giving orders to someone if that is erroneous and not of good faith towards this city. So we will deal with this part in the court, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. With that, we will bring citizens' participation to a close and we will move into council affairs, starting with the councilman from the 3rd District, Mr. Shafi.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. There is nothing this evening that could break my mood. This has been a great evening. We have made some great strides. Conditional approval of the GLEA deal. Hooah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like a weight lifted up off my chest. We are moving in the right direction. This city is about to grow. It's about to benefit. Right now, I got nothing negative to say about anybody. I am in a wonderful mood. I'm finna go home and have me a cigar and dance to some old school music. I suggest you do the same. Minus the cigar, of course, okay? Yeah, you know, y'all have a lovely evening and a lovely week, ladies and gentlemen. I am so grateful that this has been an amazing council night. Thank you so much.
Ms. Martin?
You sure? You positive? We got at least another 10 minutes, at least. I definitely want to say, yeah, I feel like this has been one of our best city councils. For the first time, I've always been wondering, what does working together look like, right? And it seems like for the first time, this is what it feels like. So I definitely want to say great job to my other city council members. Thank you so very much. With that being said, I do feel like I kind of have to agree with you, Shafi. It does feel like we're moving forward with the water. Yeah, I definitely. And I was gonna say, Mr. Spite, I appreciate the apology that he gave. There's something that I would like the citizens to understand. Anytime that we're not at an event, and I'm gonna kind of speak on the behalf, I know I shouldn't, but life is occurring for us all, right? And there's something that we're all going through. Sometimes there's reasons why we cannot attend the event. There's many reasons why we can't. I mean, I know Ms. Robinson, her family was going through so much. There was reasons why she couldn't attend the event. So, yeah, you were sick. Yeah, absolutely. So there's numbers of reasons why we don't attend, not because we don't want to, or not because we're enjoying a cigar or anything like that. But that being said, I want to say thank you for being here tonight and showing up, being present. Appreciate that so much. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to City Councilwoman Manica.
Thank you. You both are funny. Both funny tonight. I did have a question for the young man. I was lost. What did you mean when you mentioned party stores? Did you want us to look at how many we had or get rid of some?
I'm saying that there's not a citizen from Highland Park, the majority that lives here from Highland Park, or anybody that's black owns a party store or gas.
Oh, okay.
So all I'm saying is when giving out these permits and these licenses and these contracts and these fines, please make it your number one agenda. You are black, the majority of people are black. We need to have some type of representation when it comes on the business act.
Gotcha, I agree. I just wanted to make sure I understood. I know people wanted to get rid of them.
I won, and we the majority.
Oh.
It should be the other way around.
I actually realized that, but I didn't know if you wanted to get rid of them or not. Anyway, on another note.
You ain't government dearborn like that.
Well, I know that. So, but we're not gonna talk about that today, right? I have only resources and good news, and bring them on, bring them. Tell them to talk to our CED, et cetera, and the mayor. I was trying to figure out where to start. I had hiring information as well as resource information. So first off, just want to congratulate Sharmameen Shu or Harris for being nominated or voted top woman of the year 2020 in the
USA Today.
Thank you. Help me out. USA Today. Also, Community Resource Fair, March 6th. That's Wednesday, 10 to 1. They give out baby supplies, and this is Detroit at Work. And that's on Collingwood Street, 2470. 2470, excuse me, Collingwood. Baby supply assistance, food assistance, clothing, technology, home ownership information, utility assistance, childcare, expungement assistance. Say that again. And furniture and expungement assistance. Hey, and nope, on the 6th. It's on Wednesday the 6th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And part of my District 1 or City Council initiatives, we will begin the Community Assistance Days again, which is usually every 3 months, just trying to give you time. And the first one is April 6th at New Mount Moriah. That's on Buena Vista in Woodward. The second one is September 7th. These are community assistance days where you can come in and actually get assistance, not just a conversation about it or flyer, assistance. Same place, New Mount Moriah on Buena Vista on September 7th. In between here, I am asking that the churches that participated last year, or if another church would like to participate this year, to please reach out to me and let me know. Spring cleanup is April 6th. That's when the dumpster will be put out in District 1, April 6th, for those 3 days, that weekend. It will disappear on Sunday of that weekend. I think that's 6, 7, and 8. And then again, September 7th for fall cleanup, 7, 8, 9. It disappears on that Monday morning or that Sunday night. So you have that whole weekend. And just remember, a flyer will be out and you'll know what you can put in those dumpsters and what you can't. You may have to travel to it, but those are the dumpsters in District 1. That is really all. I think I covered everything in regards to resources and events happening. There will be some more coming soon. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for.
Madam Pro Tem?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
And also remember that you can go to the DPW yard and take some items that you have. So I guess in case you miss those dates, but remember there are certain things that also they cannot take as well. So remember that you can take some of your items over there, but you have to take them. Okay?
Highland Park resident.
And you have to be a Highland Park resident, and they will ask for your ID, your phone. No, I'm just kidding. But keep that in mind. Let's be a good citizen. Also, hey, clean up some of those areas by those catch basins and areas so they won't go down the drain. Please do that. I can't think of anything else. Seemed like there was something else, but other than that, everybody, thank you for coming out tonight. Have a great night.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Pro Tem?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate your presence. I love Highland Park. I just have a question in regards to the treasurer applications. President, have you received any?
They are in the mailbox. I have not touched them, and when I do, I'll share them with everybody. I'm waiting for them to accumulate. We gave people, so far has it been what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. Typically on Indeed, they wait for 21 days. So I haven't touched them. If they're in my mailbox, they'll be there. When they come out, the copies will be made. They'll be distributed to all the members while I'm in the building. I don't have any need to take them home. After 21 days, like I said, 3 weeks, we'll take them out of the mailbox.
So we have a special meeting on the 11th.
Yeah, that's fine. Make sure to the dates we set already.
So that means, okay, so I'm working 3 jobs, so that's fine. I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and get them out. I'll come in the morning. I'll make photocopies. I'll distribute them.
Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
You gonna put them in everybody's mailbox?
Yeah, I don't want to take them home. I got enough paper. I got 73 trees and 2,000 books in my house. I don't want another piece of paper. Might burst into flames. All right, you done, Madam Pro Tem?
Yes, everybody have a good night. I love you.
Okay, so I'm gonna be very quick. It is this time of year. It's FAFSA season, y'all. Y'all know what that is? That's federal student aid application. For those of you who have young people at home, this is the time of year prior to the end of the school semester where your young people need to apply for their financial aid if they're planning to go off to college this fall. I can tell you that if it were not for higher education, I wouldn't be, I don't know where I would be. All my friends that I went to high school with went to Desert Storm and got sick, or went to prison and they're still there. So if it was not for education, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair. I can't stress enough to you how important it is to convince young people to pursue higher education. The only thing that's going to make a difference in anybody's life is the amount of information that they can accumulate and what they do with it. So please, if you have young people in your family who are coming to the end of their high school career and they don't know what they're going to do, have a conversation with them. I just grabbed a couple little boys walking down John R the other day, just talking. I asked them, what are they doing? And they say, I don't know. They're in the 12th grade. They're in their second semester of the 12th grade, and they don't know what they're going to do. Put your arms around these kids. They need some encouragement. Please definitely do that. I wish the young man would have stayed. I'm 53. Anybody that's less than 53, I'm gonna call a young man. He raised an important question about locally owned businesses, and I'm gonna use the term locally owned businesses so that we don't find ourselves with any liability for our statements. We want our community to reflect the people that live here, and this is a diverse community. I have a diverse family, so I can't say something that is not relevant in my own life. But some of the challenges that he discussed, there used to be Black stores and gas stations everywhere. And what happened over time? There were significant challenges for Black businesses. It ended up being permitting, something that drove those businesses out, financing, and fees. So over the number of years, all the people, I remember Gibson's on the West Side. I didn't go to a store that wasn't owned by somebody I didn't go to a store that wasn't owned by somebody in the Nation of Islam until I was 8. I didn't even know other people had stores because we had our own community of stores that we went to on a regular basis. And what drove Gibson's and many other stores out of business is that oftentimes we go where it's cheapest. In many cases, that's not necessarily us. Also, that the permitting process, financing for these businesses, and fees heaped on Black-owned businesses and it would be from the community. The community would heap pressure and fees on Black-owned businesses that they wouldn't do to non-Black-owned businesses. They drove their own community out of the neighborhood by trying to lean on them in ways that they didn't do for big corporations. It's common from the Mississippi Delta all the way here to Highland Park. So we want those businesses, but we have to understand what it takes to support them. So that might be a community initiative. The businesses who are here, you need to support them, to keep them here and encourage them. We also have the Highland Park Business Association. If you haven't communicated with those people, find their website, go visit them, and interface with the people who are here to ensure that they can stay here. Other than that, I have nothing else. Having concluded all business of the city of Highland Park, the chairman would declare this meeting adjourned.